Hey, everybody, welcome back to Review with Me. I am your host, Maxine, and we are reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 19, Episodes 8, 9, and 10. This is our main couple for this review. Yep, we're going to get into Jalen and Josh and Jalen's uh, temper tantrums. Her privileged upbringing definitely came out in these last three episodes. I definitely see how she has been spoiled throughout her life. Well, when she was younger, at least. And you could see it how it shows up in her relationship and her marriage with Josh. And I peeped that, and I think I mentioned it too in my review. When it was the day of her mother's wedding, Josh and her already got married, and now they're here at their mother's, well, her mother's, his mother-in-law, but her mother's married at first sight wedding with Chad. Um, Jalen is talking to her mom right before Belinda walks out and sees Chad, but Jalen's talking to her mom. She's holding her purse, and she gives her purse to Josh, talking about, "Here, can you take this over there?" I said, you gave a man your purse. I get it. He's your husband. You gave him your purse and told him to skedaddle with your purse. You can't just hold on to your purse as you're speaking with your mom. It was the way that she did it. It was the fact that she did it. One, the way that she did it, the fact that she did it, that definitely told me all I needed to know. So I'm not even entirely surprised of her behavior in these last few episodes. Um, it's fitting. It's fitting for sure. Okay, let's get into episode 8. It's titled Anniversary Adventures. So we're seeing some progress in Derek and Meg's interaction with each other, their marriage. Derek has a way of calming Meg, and she receives that well. I think I think they're both attracted to each other, right? I think that definitely helps. And with that physical attraction, there is of course great intercourse. Okay? So him being attractive and being good at calming Meg is probably primarily because of the physical attraction and connection that they have with each other. I think they could still work on their communication styles. Primarily Meg, she is very fight or flight. Fight or flight. And you would think at her grown age, I think she's 38, right? You would think at this point she'll know better ways to communicate, right? Or she'll be not just aware, but actively working on her communication styles to be better. Hopefully, she will get better at some point, but nonetheless, Derek is doing a good job at calming her. We get to the 1 month anniversary mark for all of these couples, which is very interesting because the setup with this show now is condensed, which is better. I definitely am happy with this new setup. It's condensed, it's more digestible, and it's easier to watch. So that's great. But you just don't realize, like, damn, it's only episode 8 and they're already at their 1 month anniversary. We're so used to this show being 22 episodes in, and then finally at that 22nd episode, it's their anniversary for a week. Like, what? What is this? So each couple, they have a specific thing that they're doing to celebrate their month anniversary. Pat sets up a space movie night because we know Pat loves space. He is a space nerd, a space head. He talks a little bit about his background when it comes to his love for space. He grew up in Hawaii. He actually saw um I guess the astronauts ship upstate upstate New York, right? No, but he saw something. He saw something happen in Hawaii. In some areas, right? Mexico, Hawaii, where it's known for space like adventures or space like excursions or anything space related, whether it's alien watching um or anything like that. I'm not surprised that he saw this in Hawaii, is what I'm saying. And considering how much older he is, right? He's one of the two oldest couples in this season. It makes sense for him to have fallen in love with space and the wonders of it all, considering his age and the year that he grew up in Hawaii seeing this. I wrote down, finally, we see Rhonda giving him some attention, right? This, of course, was short lived. Spoiler alert. This, of course, was short lived. But I kind of gave her some credit here. We get to Jalen and Josh. What did they do? Something dramatic, something extraordinary. They jump out of the plane. I don't know if I like this as an anniversary gift. But that's just me though. I just feel like, what are we doing? Why everything we got to do together is something so high strung? Granted, I was made aware that Jalen did mention that is one of the things that she wanted to do in her life. But ultimately, we see a trend of Jalen doing more of these dramatic, extraordinary things, activities, excursions, or whatnot, because Josh really wants to do it. He's more of a adrenaline rush junkie, while Jalen is not. She likes to sit back, get pampered, relax, and that's her way of doing things. I wrote down Jalen is a trooper because that couldn't be me. That couldn't be me. I'm not interested in nobody's jumping. What are we doing? No. We get to Will and Britt, and fun fact about Britt, she loves wrestling. That is very interesting. I grew up I really enjoyed wrestling when I was younger. It was like a part of the culture growing up in Boston. And me and my sister, we used to watch wrestling shows and The Rock. Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? That was the shit, okay? But to this day, no. Like, I'm not still talking about loving it to this day. I just, but hey, that's fine. Britt also still watches soap operas. So I think Britt has a different way of just like, I don't know, like some things I just let go of, right? I just move on. I used to love, well, not soap operas, but specifically Passions. Me and my sister, again, we used to watch Passions. That was our soap opera. But, you grow up and you grow out of it. You grow up and you grow out of it. And then you start to look back and say, damn, these shows are like cheesy as hell. Cheesy as hell, okay? So anyway, we get to their wrestling activity. So that's their thing, right? So that's their anniversary trip. They actually set up an activity with one of the wrestling champs of all time. Again, I don't know anything about that part. He actually teaches them a move, and Brittany's so excited. She's so excited. She's so happy. It was pretty cool to see her excited and happy and not moping around about, does Will like me? Tell me what I could do to be your girl. What do you need from me? What do you want from me? Type thing. And Will was, Will was being Will. I don't know what's. So this wrestling champion talking about, let me give y'all some marriage advice, talking about, I don't know what he's talking about, but it's like, sir, if you don't just shut up and teach me these moves, teach me how to headlock a nigga. Okay, you talk about marriage is the hardest sport in your life. Like, Mr. WWE, please. Will says things. Okay, this is what he does to Britt, okay? And I'm noticing maybe he gets a kick out of it. I really do. Because on one end, you can't be that dense. You can't be. Now, there is some theory going on that maybe he's on the spectrum, right? Some people who are on the spectrum are not aware of social cues, are not aware of how they come off, right? And they just lack that awareness. And that's totally true, right? If you're on the spectrum for autism or whatnot, you may find yourself exhibiting the same behavioral manners or lack thereof that Will is exhibiting when it comes to his lack of awareness of his tone and the way that he is being perceived by others. So he says to her how, he is happy with her and he does plan, like, if the decision was asked of him right now, would you say yes? He said yes, he would say yes. But then he adds on and says, but things and feelings can change over time, or things and feelings can change with time. I mean, is he right? Yes, he is right. right? But nigga, ain't nobody trying to hear that. And that's the thing with Will. And this kind of makes sense as to why he is here. Because he needs help. He needs help. And for him to think this was an appropriate response, because yes, you're stating the obvious. Like, he's not lying. Of course, things do change over time. I may say yes today. I may think, yeah, this is who I want to be with, and I'm happy with this person. But some shit may unfold later on, and I'm like, you know what? I thought this was my person, but I don't think this is the right path for me. That is all well and dandy, but that's not what Brit needs to hear right now. And it's not about appeasing to her desperate need of validation, but it's about recognizing what is necessary to be said and what doesn't need to be said. Know how to read the room. And this harkens, is it harkens or harpens? I think harkens. This harkens us back to the day of his wedding, and he met Brit's parents, and his dad and her dad is trying to connect with him. Hey, do you play sports? Nah, I don't play any sports. Okay, well, do you play dominoes? Nope, don't know shit about dominoes. Do you believe in God? Well, I believe in the universe. You know, the Catholic massacres and the demise of the Catholic Church. Nigga, what? Do you believe in a hairline? Huh? Do you believe in getting your hair cut? Let's start from there, because this man doesn't know how to connect at all. We get to Derek and Meg. They go see Meg's parents at their home. They have a lovely home. You know, they come from money. I don't know what they do. I know she does. She works at her parents' commercial real estate business. But golly, how much you making with that? With that, okay? The house is nice, and her house is nice too, apart from theirs. So you know what I mean. Anyway, if Derek don't see anything else, he better see a future with Meg. I don't care. He has to keep working on her flight and fight tactics or tendencies. Go ahead and marry that girl and stay married to her. She comes from money. Yeah, you better be hypergamous. You better. So Meg's mom is really into them working it out, right? She hopes for them to work out. She has vocalized this. She said, I really loved your parents, and I really hope things work out, because you know, your parents could come and we have plans, and basically already setting up a life and a world around the idea of them still being married and really working this out. Meg's mom is appearing more personable. Have y'all noticed that? Well, at least in that scene, she's very handsy, very touchy-feely on Derek, but she's the type of person who talks with her hands, who touches with her hands. That's her way of connecting. She even mentions that she wants them to have a baby by Christmas. Okay. Mom, do you have a baby by Christmas money? Yes. Okay. Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. I'll get on it. We get to Chad and Belinda. He gives her flowers. He is just so kind and doting towards her. It's very sweet to see. Belinda looks up to how no, okay, so she's looking up how to change her last name. And she's talking about all the steps that it takes to change her last name. Girl, was this a scene that they had to like conjure up? Because what? You didn't know how to change your last name before when you got married the first time, Belinda? We learned that Belinda's dog is making progress with Chad. I guess her dog was barking all the time when Chad would get in the bed, but now the barking finally stopped. The dog shouldn't be in the bed. How about that? The barking would have never started if the dog didn't get comfortable with being on a human bed. Ain't no dog in my bed. I love my dog Theo, but it's gonna be a no for me, dog. Jalen and Josh. Oh, let's get to this scene. Okay, so Jalen and Josh, they're seated on the floor in their living room, and they're looking over their pictures from the wedding, and they look over their vows, and their activity is to write down their vows today, like their 1 month updates of their vows today. Jalen's writing easily, just writing down how she's feeling about him and this marriage, and it's flowing, it's going. Josh, on the other hand, talking about uh, he's sweating, talking about, oh, I'm not a good writer. He immediately feels embarrassed. He shuts down. He literally writes nothing. He probably said, I nothing, nothing. Jalen's like, what? I wrote, mind you, they were given, I guess they time. Okay, let's block out 20 minutes and write down our vows. You know, what will we say to each other now that it's been a month? Josh can't put down anything on paper at all. And again, he's starting to sweat. He doesn't want to even read what he started to say, which was really nothing at all. Like, I love Jaden. Yes, I love Jalen. Yes, I do. That's what he wrote. Jalen's trying to understand. Well, I don't think she was necessarily trying to understand. She was just saying, why don't you want to write? You shouldn't feel embarrassed. And so Josh talking about how when he wrote his wedding vows to her a month ago, the 4 paragraphs that he wrote, it took him 4 days to write that. Okay. So I got to put my teacher hat on because it's giving learning disability. It's giving something is off here. Maybe it's dyslexia. Maybe it's I don't know. Something is off. I'm scratching. Something is off here. And I think it's because he has a disability. I do. That's my theory and that's my opinion. And maybe he never got treated for it. Maybe he's not even aware, right? Maybe he's just like, well, I'm not much of a writer. I express through my action. That's a cop out, nigga. No, you don't know how to write. That's what it is. You doing all this jumping out of a plane? Go to a community college and get a degree. Go finish your GED. Go finish that reading 101 course. Go take that writing 101 course, 100 actually. Start from the very beginning. And I'm saying this with love. I am. You can't tell me at your age you think it's okay to go about life like this. I get it. You have the successful entrepreneur business, and that's very commendable. Absolutely. But you also need to know how to read and write. Yes, you need to know how to write. You need to know how to, what are we talking about? I don't give a damn about anything else. You need to know how to write. Stop it. I'm not even saying you have to have a master's degree. I mean, that would be nice. But I'm an academic. I'm a nerd. So I love a writer. I love someone who knows how to write. I love someone who knows how to express themselves through words. That's all that touches my heart. But I think aside from that, though, you should just know that on JP, just on principle, nigga. Like, what are we talking about? Anyway, Jalen's not even trying to. So he's breaking down. He's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't write. I don't know. If I was Jalen, though, would I give him sympathy in that moment? I don't know if I would. And I'm saying this with honesty, you guys, because I probably would have been annoyed. Like, nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? If you don't put down a paragraph right now, and maybe, some people have a hard time being vulnerable, right? And I'm one of those people, right? Sometimes I do struggle with showing my emotion and articulating that in words and being intimate in that sense. I've been actively working on it and it feels great, but it's scary. But I think, though, when you're in a situation like this, in which you're in a marriage with someone who decided to go on this show with you and be matched with you, and now you're in this thing a month down and you're seated side by side writing this damn note, why can't you even try? And that I think that is what pissed me off. And that would have pissed me off if I was Jalen. You didn't even try. And I think she kind of mentioned that, like, oh, you didn't even try. Can you come on? But she didn't really try to understand, like, what's going on here. We get to a later scene and Josh tries to clarify the writing gate, right? That's what I wrote down. He just says how he feels so much pressure. and he feels insecure with his writing. And when he writes, or when he's asked to write something, he feels like the whole world is watching him, and it's really a mental thing. And that's what I'm saying. It's a disability. It's a disorder. He hasn't gotten it checked, and he hasn't um taken the steps to navigate it. Nonetheless, he didn't write her shit. That's and I would have been pissed. I would have ripped my note down, ripped my note apart. Like, you know what? I'm done. Okay, talk about you took 4 days. What? Derek says Meg's. Oh yeah, I said that already. Okay, so Will isn't in love with Brittany yet. He says that he moves with his mind first. We get it, Will. You're sapiosexual, but I don't know if Will is even trying. I would feel so offended though, right? Like, it's one thing to not be necessarily in love with me, but have you started to feel strong feelings for me just as a person? Like, man, I really care about you. Like, you're special. You're beautiful. Like, I don't think Will has said any of that on or off camera. Okay, definitely not on camera. Definitely not on camera. So for him to just always lead with, oh, I start with my mind first. Okay. No, you're so smart. Like, okay, nigga, so what? You can't fall in love? You can't fall in love? Okay, so Meg tells Derek she loves him, and he says, that's what he said. Nothing. He said nothing. She seated on him, making out. They probably had 3 or 4 champagnes. She's like, I love you. I love you. He's like, first of all, hello? Let me cut off the TV because I don't think you heard me. I said I love you. That wasn't enough. They're watching their wedding video. I would have stopped it. I said, okay, if you don't love me back yet, but tell me how you feel about me. Give me more. Okay, so anyway, we get to the next one. Yeah, I would have been annoyed. And I'm the type though, I'll say I love you. I'll say I love you first. I don't really care. Once I feel it, I feel it. Let's go. Rhonda and Pat, they hold hands. Oh, no. Okay. Hold hands. What? Rhonda and Pat holds a gathering at her home. Chad advises to never get complacent. If you don't say what you feel, you'll regret it. Okay. Yeah. So they're holding a gathering at their home. They invite all the other married couples, and Chad's giving some wisdom. Will says, quote, I definitely haven't said I love you yet. And he, again, it's another example of Will not reading the room. Why would you think saying definitely like that, or definitely period? Why would you say that? I would have been so embarrassed if I was Brittany. He could have simply said, I haven't said those words yet, but I do have strong feelings for Brittany. I care about her. She's a beautiful woman inside and out. And I'm so grateful that the experts matched me with her. And I really do hope this thing could work out. I don't know. Maybe don't say the last part, because Brittany, as sensitive as she is, she probably will rip apart that last part. Then Will talks about how he feels like when people say I love you, it can be manipulative. And then he referenced a chemo scenario. If someone, I didn't want to repeat that. I don't like when people talk about cancer so like casually. And so him comparing it to a terminal disease, a terminal illness. Are you okay? Oh my gosh. But Britt is desperately wanting him to pick her. And I hate the term pick me, but it's giving that, because, ma'am, he's not giving you anything for you to even feel assured by him. Okay? He gives you a little bit and then he snatches right back, right? Oh, he'll kiss you and he holds you by the neck, and maybe he's a good time sexually. I can't see it, but Brittany's always smiling and hunching, and I think she leads with her sexuality a lot. So maybe he appeases her in that way, but still, dog, it's not enough. It's not enough. Rhonda takes Pat to her outdoor music festival shindig that she goes to often. She's going on and on about how she loves going to this festival, this outdoor show. Yet she's going on and on. She's telling him about this. She then asks him, "What does it tell you about me, though? What does it tell you about me, though? Like, tell me, do you know me? It's all about me." And she's just going on and on. Pat tries to chime in and talk and have a conversation, right? It goes two ways. He mentions how his mom loves the arts as well, and she paints also. Like, he's just trying to draw some commonalities between them. Rhonda cuts him off and says, "Okay, but what does that say about her? Okay, so what does that say about me? What does that say about me?" Rhonda, go find a mirror and just talk to it. That's all she needs. She just needs to talk to a mirror. That's it. She goes on and on to say how much she loves water. I love water. But low key though, and high key, I love water too. I do. So I get it, Rhonda. I love water. Ever since I was a kid. To this day. To this day. I love water. To this day. We get to Pat. He tells her it speaks to him differently about the show. Something about that. So he's trying to relate again, trying to have a conversation. Rhonda immediately feels like he keeps talking about himself. Girl, it's the irony here. It's the irony. And I hope, and I know the experts have been coming in at opportune times, which is great, but I really want them to call Rhonda out. And I'm not just Dr. Pia, because I feel like Dr. Pia sometimes is soft with some of the contestants, but you know what I mean. The last time, at least with Rhonda, I mean, she kind of gave it to her, but didn't give it to her enough. I feel like Dr. Pia just tries to soften the blow, and I need Pastor Cal. I need him, Cal. I need him to come and be like, Rhonda, you gotta let him talk. You gotta let him talk. You gotta let him chime in. You keep talking about yourself. What have you learned about Pat? Then this episode ends with Jalen and Josh talking about exes on social media. They come in from being out with Josh's friends, and Josh's friends apparently mention him still talking to an ex of like Josh's ex on social media. And Jalen is suddenly feeling like, okay, I don't know if he's trustworthy, because you told me you unfollowed your exes on social media. Boom, there we have it. That's episode 8. Let's move on to episode 9. Episode 9, 2 truths and a lie. The couples are giving sex toys. You know, they do this every damn season because we got to have sex toys in the bedroom. I don't understand that. What happened to just manual satisfaction? Just because the vibrator is not realistic to what that gonna do. Okay? And it's not natural. I shouldn't have to be coming like this in this vibrating motion because, we're using the sex toy. I don't know. But call me old school. Josh and Jalen, they meet with Dr. Pia and Pastor Cal. This is the episode when the most of the couples are being met with the experts and they're having a good sit down. So they discussed the whole follow the ex on social media gate. Jalen feels like the lie was unnecessary, but Josh's explanation is, I lied because it just came out of a panic. I just wanted to let her know that I didn't follow her because I just wanted to kind of soothe her. But that says a lot about Josh, though. Josh is someone who doesn't stand on it. Stand on it, nigga. Yeah, I still follow my ex. What? And I'm gonna still follow my ex. How about that? I don't give a fuck what you like about it. How about that? If you want to still follow your ex, and state that. That shouldn't be an issue. But Jalen is insecure about that. Okay, let's set some boundaries. Okay, how about you you could follow her, but maybe sift through the DMs and make sure y'all not DMing it. I don't know how you can monitor that, but the point is, okay, you want to follow her, stand on that. Don't lie to me and say, no, I didn't follow them, and then we found out, oh no, you are still DMing that bitch and still following. So now there's trust that needs to be repaired in the marriage. they asked Jalen, like, can you forgive him? Like, they're just trying to kind of smooth it over. Like, let's just move on. Like it's not a big deal type of thing. So her worry is that if you lie about something so little, then what big lies can you lie about, right? You know, little lies can lead to big lies. Jalen admits that I don't want to go to these festivals. You talking about Burning Man? You want to give me a Burning Man ticket, and I don't give a damn. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. But here's the thing. I think both of them are low-key liars, right? Because I think Jalen at one point said okay, that sounds cool. Like, she was trying to acquiesce to what he is really into. And then you have Josh lying about following his exes on social media. So I need y'all to stand on business. If you are so prim and proper and princess treatment all the time, you're not into festivals, stand on that. Like, hey, look, I'm really not into outdoorsy stuff. I'll do it every once in a while, but I'm really not into it. Stand on that. Josh, I have good relationships with my exes. We moved on from a romantic relationship to simply platonic. And I'm not the type of person who likes to cut people off after dating them. Stand on that. Then let that be it. And if y'all could work around that, then work around it. If not, then no. Josh wants a healthy medium because he really loves festivals. He loves the outdoors. He loves Burning Man, especially. I wrote down Jalen was willing to let him go because of this difference. And that's exactly what happened. She was so, at this point, I felt like she was checked out. I think she was checked out because right before this moment, Dr. P is talking about, can you forgive him? Can you forgive him? Very dismissively, I might add. And Jalen was somehow, I felt like she probably was coerced to just say, yes, I forgive you. Right. But ultimately, she probably was still holding on to it. And now hearing that Josh is really adamant about festivals and she has no interest, she's like, look, if festivals mean that much to you, go marry him then. Where's that from? If he's such a good man, then go marry him. Then go fuck him then.
I'm smart, I work hard, and I'm a good person. Ma, if I allowed myself to think like you, I guess I'd be a dead woman. Ma, you should be proud. I'd rather live alone than crawl up behind some two-timing loser like Kenneth. He's a good man, Savannah. A good man. He's just in a bad situation right now, and he's trying to get out of it. Mama, I tell you what, why don't you f***ing marry him then?
Shout out to Waiting to Exhale, Whitney Houston. Hello? Savannah? He's a good man, Savannah. Why don't you go fuck him then, mama? First of all, who are you talking to? That's my response if I was the mama. Like, I mean, he was a good man, Savannah. He's just in a terrible situation. He's just in a tough situation. He's just in a tough situation. Hello. Child, I could go on and on about that, but let's move on. So we got Meg and Derek. They're doing a cold plunge, and Meg is super into that. So she was in it for a good 4 minutes. Derek couldn't last 2 minutes. Josh, should we get back to Josh and Jalen? Because again, this is the main characters for this review. Josh keeps bringing up Burning Man. Okay, he's like, "Look, you really don't want to go? Come on, it's really good. I need you. I need you to come. I need you to try it. I love it. It's everything to me." He then tries to draw comparisons to cycling because cycling is Jalen's passion. It's actually her job as well. And she's like, okay, what? How you gonna compare a 45-minute cycle class to a week-long isolated experience in the woods in which you have to depend on each other for survival? How can you compare that to cycling? So she rolls her eyes. Because she's like, oh, come on. Like, she's doing that. And he He checked that bitch real quick. He said, "Don't you ever roll your eyes at me, okay?" He said, "Bitch, don't you don't you ever roll your motherfucking eyes at me, okay?" That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said, y'all. So then Josh starts crying. You guys, I kid you not. This man starts crying over what? Over what? Over a burning man? Over a man who's burning. He starts crying over a man who's burning. Now, he gives us some insight though, right? So this is where my heartstrings are being pulled. We of course know Josh grew up in an impoverished upbringing. His mother was in and out of jail. His daddy, he didn't know about him until 28, right? So he grew rough. He was kind of isolated when he was a kid, didn't really have friends, didn't have a community. So in any extreme case of feeling this sense of community, he is for it. And from what I've heard about Burning Man, it's the principle of it, right? The objective is to be in community with others for the point of survival in this makeshift city that they create in the middle of Nevada. Now, I get how someone may not find this attractive, especially if you're like Jalen, right? If you grew up very privileged, very demure. But for me, I'm a bit more open-minded. I think these things are pretty cool. The tickets are not accessible though. It's about, because I literally looked into it. I'm like, well, let me just look it up because I'm just curious. Because I know some celebrities do it. But anyway, it's basically a place where you are coming together in this desert, and it's a week-long excursion, somewhat, but you bring everything that you need. But whatever that you don't have, right? If you're lacking something, or if a neighbor is lacking something, they can rely on you, right? It's about community and fellowship. And I think the theory of it sounds great. And I've heard beautiful stories, like people feel like, wow, like they feel a reckoning, right? They feel a sense of self, a sense of discovery. I think that's a beautiful thing. I'm really into those, like, ooh, okay, hippie. I think that's fun. But there is some caution to be had though, right? If you're not someone who's into alternative living, or substance abuse or substance using or of any sort, and you're very grounded, this may not be a place for you. But I feel like sometimes, fuck it. Don't you feel like some days you just want to be like, what if I just didn't go to work ever? What if I just said, no, fuck this capitalism shit that I had to keep up with, fuck paying rent. What if I just didn't have any responsibility, in this system that we're in, and we just like lived, and that was it, and there was no penalty for it, right? That's the key word, no penalty for it. Oh, to dream. Oh, to dream. We get to Rhonda and Pat. We visit Rhonda's father's grave. Graveside. Sir, ma'am, I am so sorry for your loss. That took place 47 years ago. And I'm saying this, yes, I'm saying it like that for a reason. Because, ma'am, this was 47 years ago. And I think it was probably longer. I think I'm even giving her justice by saying 47. This was so many years ago your father passed away. Okay? And she's breaking down like he died yesterday. And then later we find out that her and her dad wasn't really that close. She actually craved for his attention because he gave more attention to her sister, who had more commonalities with the dad. Like, they were into the same thing. They hunted together or did boyish activities together. So she's crying hysterically in the car, talking about her daddy to Pat, who she just met. It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I get it. We're now a month in, but I do feel like you have to be mindful of how you come off to other people and understand what you are sharing with someone. Will it give negative weight, or will the weight be productive? And I feel like every time we hear Rhonda speak, every time she's talking about some heavy ass story, she's going on this whole diatribe, and Pat can't get a word in. It's heavy. It's heavy. It's a load. It's tasking. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm done. So we get to the site. She's telling Pat, oh, don't make sure you don't walk on the grave. Where are we walking? It's a grave site. Every place is a grave site. And how are we supposed to know how the grave sites are mapped out? So you could be as careful as you try, as careful as you can be. You're still stepping on someone's head. What are we talking about? And if you really believe in that stuff, as far as like, oh, their body, you protect their body, the soul is gone. The body, this is just a vessel. The body is gone. I mean, the body is under 6 feet, but it's not about the body. It's about the soul. The soul is gone. Wherever it's gone to, the soul is gone. So you stepping on the body in a way that's not trying to be disrespectful is shouldn't be a reason for Rhonda to scold Pat. And I look at Pat, I just feel so sorry for him. He's just kind of just taking it in, like, okay, just like a lost puppy. No wonder he was in that marriage, in his last marriage for 30 years, talking about I was unhappy the whole time for 30 years. Okay, because you're a pussy. You're a pussy. We get to Will and Britt. They meet with Dr. Pia and Pastor Cal. Britt feels like she's still unsure on where he stands. And this could get annoying, right? If you're always with someone and you're always wondering, do you still love me? Where do we stand? You know, you just feel no stability here. At what point is because, okay, granted, Will probably isn't giving her any security, right? He's not saying anything that made her feel any sense of assuredness. But I also feel like Britt, she leads with too much insecurity, and it makes it very unattractive. It's very unattractive. Will keeps saying, if we don't work out, at least we were ourselves. Will, again, can you say something else? He's talking about how he still plans on keeping his apartment post the decision day. And of course, that doesn't sound comforting to Brittany, understandably so. But he doesn't explain why, right? The experts actually kind of give him an alley-oop, because after he said that, they said, well, okay, you see how you say that? That could make her feel insecure. So then they say, oh, well, it's, I travel for work and I live 7 minutes away from the airport, and it just is more convenient. And my lease is, or I just signed my lease, and we could stay there. It's in the downtown area. We could stay there for a night or two. For he suddenly had all these reasons packed up, and it's like, okay, if that was the real reason, right, or your driving force as to why you're still keeping your apartment, and you just signed a lease for it, you should have started off with that. So then she's crying. He pulls her close. The ex was trying to say, see, look, because you are vulnerable, he knows how to take you in. Yo, if this ain't this ain't shit, I could get a nigga to cuddle with me right now. Right? Like, the point is, cuddling, a man pulling you close doesn't guarantee anything. Hello? Do I sound bitter? No, but seriously, hello? Come on. Derek and Meg meet with Pastor Cal and Dr. Pia. We learn that Derek finally told her he loves her, and it was a great session. Rhonda show. That's what I wrote down here. It's the Rhonda show. She has an epiphany, and she goes on this long ass story with Pat, talking about, my biggest insecurity is being chosen. And I felt like my dad, he chose my sister more. And so she goes on and on about that. And that is why when people don't listen to me, when they don't inquire about what I'm doing, I feel like I'm not being chosen. It brings me back to my dad. Then go work that shit out with Dr. Pia. Work that shit out with a mental health professional. Maybe not even Dr. Pia, because I know she's more, marriage and family counselor or whatnot. But go find you a psychologist, bitch. Cause this is a lot. Again, this is heavy. You have to monitor your thoughts and what you plan to say out loud, and ask yourself, is this going to be a heavy conversation yet again that I'm sharing with my husband that may make him close out from me, right? That may make him feel like, dang, this bitch always got something to say. Okay, that's a lot. Britt brings Will to her aunt's house, and it's cute because her family, they're embracing him, they're taking him in, and he's just looking like a lost. Okay, I'm sitting here right now. Okay, like super awkward and weird. Britt's trying to be cool, not trying to be cool necessarily, but she just, you can tell she's feeling awkward because she's never brought a man to her family's home. She's very close with her family. They say, "Oh, come on, kids in front of us, kids." So they're trying to egg her on to kids in front of them, and mind you, Will is seated and she's standing over him. And so he grabs her face and brings it closer and they're kissing. It's just like awkward and weird. Like, what? We wrap up with this episode with Meg and Derek announcing that Meg is pregnant. Congrats. I think that's great. I know people are saying, oh, that's too early. I mean, if we're in it, let's do it. Hello? I don't think it's never. Anyway, I think it's great. Congrats. Episode 10 is titled Retreat and Defeat. Retreat and Defeat. The couples, they pack up to go to Lake Travis, except for Rhonda and Pat. Because apparently Rhonda's having a family reunion at her house. I feel like that could have been rescheduled, but okay. Meg and Derek are pranksters. So they arrive there first and they start setting up these like pranks around the home. There's this device that they have that makes the meow noise every now and then. So they put it in someone's room. They change out the toilet tissue with this indestructible toilet tissue. And look, I don't want to be a party poop, right? I do like a good joke, but I feel like it's a childish joke. I think if we want to do a prank, let someone dress up as a bear and come down the steps and that's funny to me. I would like that. But you changing out the toilet tissue to be an indestructible type of material? No. And I'm someone who has a weak bladder. I have to use a bathroom. You mean to tell me I can't rip this apart? I wouldn't like that. Will talks to the guys, and again, so everyone arrived to Lake Travis except for Rhonda and Pat. Will tells the guys that there are different types of love. There's agape, there's adore, amore, whatever else, right? I forget the rest. But he's trying to show, like, we get it. You have knowledge, Will. We get it that you know things. That's cool. That's amazing. But right now, we're not taking a test. We're not taking a standardized exam. Please shut the fuck up. Do you love this woman or not? Anyway, Josh sees community differently than Jalen. We go back to the whole community gate. The community gate. Jalen is internalizing this because she feels like he's not seeing how communal of a person she is. Josh is talking about, I want us to build groups, community groups. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, we already have community. I have my cycle class. That's community. And I feel like Jalen here was not budging. I think at this point, she's kind of checked out from Josh. She probably feels like he's not someone who she could trust ever since the whole social media thing. And I think that's what's happening here. And that could be the reason why she kind of freaks out towards the end of this episode or the middle, whatnot. Derek shares what he loves about Meg. And again, he kind of says it in a obvious way, like, oh, she's smart. But even so, as he was saying what he was saying about what he loves about her, Meg was feeding him lines to say, and he was saying those lines. And it just felt so forced. Like, okay. Britt loves or appreciates Will's mind. No, you don't. And that's the thing. I think Brit is trying to make fetch happen, and it's not happening. You don't love his mind. You get annoyed whenever he always talks about random facts. You don't like when he says weird things and make you feel insecure in the marriage. That's a part of his mind. That's his mind. You love that? You was just saying you didn't love that. You just saying you just cried about that. And I feel like Brit, she says, and we know, we could see the experts called it out, that she struggles with being vulnerable. This is an example of that. You giving a safe ass, fake ass answer tells us how uncomfortable she is with being emotional. Like, girl, you need to try. Chad says how safe he feels around Belinda. He goes on and ooh, girl, I would have been like, marry me. Marry me too, Chad. Let me be your wife also. And the way he was looking at her too, he did a better job from the last time when he was asked, how do you feel about Belinda? And he was like, I sweating bricks and shit. Jalen says she doesn't care if her and Josh were okay. I wrote that down for a reason. Okay. So remember, so they're at the table. All the couples are at the table. And she's seeing again how Chad is talking so kindly about her mom, Belinda. And Jalen says, I'm just so happy for you guys. And, I don't care about anything else. If me and Josh don't work out, I just mostly care about my mom's marriage. And I just was like, I'm sorry. Hold on. And that's why I feel like this whole, mom and daughter on the same show, finding love, getting married, is weird. It's weird. Why are we doing that? Jalen tells Josh she feels frustrated. We talk about the community topic again. Difference between okay, yeah. Jalen's trying to say, she has friends. Well, what about her psycho friends? That's community. Josh saying no, that's a friend hangout. That's different. So he's trying to explain himself. Jalen's trying to talk. No one's really listening to each other. Josh feels like she's cutting him off. And, I always hear people say that. You're cutting me off. Shut the fuck up. We're having a conversation. But in the instance of when we're being frustrated in the moment, you do have to shut up and let someone speak. Okay? And Jalen was cutting him off. But that threw her off. And so she starts crying. What are we talking about? So she starts crying. And the way that she reacted definitely gave little girl. It definitely was unbecoming of this grown woman that she is facing, right? Face wise, right? Appearance wise, she is a grown woman. But when she doesn't get her way, when she has to keep explaining herself, she gets frustrated and she starts to act like a little girl. We get to this pickleball scene between Meg and Derek and Brittany and Will. Britt wants to know what she could work on. So am I just perfect? Am I just perfect? Because Will's not giving her anything. Will doesn't give anything. She keeps digging on what she could work on. Will finally says, okay, well, I noticed he was in a bad mood earlier and it kind of messed up the energy. She's like, oh, well, I didn't even know I was in a bad mood. I wasn't in a bad mood. It's like, okay, now he's telling you what you could work on. This is your reaction, bitch. Bitch, work on this. Work on your game. But mind you, as they were playing pickleball, Britt kept losing. Which, look, pickleball is not easy if you're new to it. And yeah, I like it. I think it's a fun game, but I'm not good at it at all. Not yet. But I'm not a sore loser. And I'm not cussing a storm like a sailor. So she's losing. And she is cussing a fuck, shit, fuck, fucking shit, pussy, shit, I fuck, pussy, shit, fuck, dick, shit. Like, girl, are you okay? You've never lost a game before. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know if she was trying to make a scene, but it was very unbecoming. Even Will had to say, okay, chill. Okay, bitch. It's okay. We're not winning a tournament here. It's not a big deal. But this speaks to her not being aware of how she comes off. So I think both of them have that in common, right? Will's not aware of how he comes off, or maybe he doesn't care. Britt's not aware of how she comes off, or maybe she doesn't care, right? But she's trying to act like she wasn't in a bad mood earlier. And I think sometimes with us as women, we don't realize when our hormones are raging and we are succumbing to them, right? So I think Brit, maybe she was on her cycle, or maybe she just was suddenly in a bad mood for whatever. Maybe there was a trigger that triggered something, and now her thoughts are racing, negative thoughts. These things happen often for us women, but it's about having that self-awareness to be on top of it and to manage it appropriately. And the fact that she was so quick to say, no, I wasn't in a bad mood. I was good. I was good. I was good. It's like, Brit, you weren't good. And I believe, even though they didn't show us that scene, I believe it. We've seen examples previously of Brit acting like, I'm fine. But clearly it's all in her face. Her energy shifted. She's suddenly quiet. She's not trying to make conversation or converse back with him. You are in a shitty mood. What's going on? Speak on it. Now she's in her head and she feels like Will does not like her. She feels like he's not into her. And she thinks that is the reason why he doesn't tell her things and why he doesn't let her know what he wants from her, and he doesn't really like her, and um that she's not his person. And she starts breaking down and crying. She's talking to Meg. Meg looking all ghost like in her face. Not Meg looks so dumb. She looks so dumb. I'm sorry. Shout out to Meg. But she's just like, she doesn't really give much of what's going on in her marriage with Sure. Okay, it's your prerogative, but you're on this show together with other people whom are sharing their experiences, and you're not sharing. Derek shares more in his group with the guys than Meg does with the girls. It's the weirdest thing. We jump into Rhonda and Pat, and we get a confessional phone moment with Rhonda. She's talking about how Pat purchased tickets for them for a concert for a particular date, and he surprised her with it. But she ended up scolding him about it because you should have checked in with me first. You should have checked in with me first. Girl, what? This was a lovely gesture. Mind you, he probably thought, oh, this is a concert. This is something that she would like, because we just went to a concert, this outdoor concert that she took me to. She told me she loves music and festivals and art, stuff like this. Let me surprise her with something like this. So he probably thought he was doing something. He was, if he was with someone who actually appreciated that. But he really thought he was doing something well, right? And you would think she'll be grateful. You would think she'll be excited about it. But no, she's upset that she doesn't have control. She's upset that he didn't kowtow to her, and how dare you do something without my permission. So she says, you should have checked in with me first. You know, we should share calendars. You should check the calendar first. And as she's telling him this, I guess they were at a store, and Pat was asking, or ended up asking, the clerk about something. I guess something that he's trying to get. And Rhonda took that offensively because he just walked off. But at this point, Rhonda, I'm going to walk off. How about that? I'm going to walk off from the TV. If you keep talking, I understand. Girl, I'm trying to get these gloves or whatever the fuck he was trying to buy. And you talking my ear off about you should have checked in with me. This is why you should check in with me, because my dad, he never checked in with me, and he always picked my sister over me. Girl, what? How about, oh my gosh, this is so sweet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the gesture. I do have a conflict on that date, but is there any way we could, something, show some gratitude? You're quick to scold. Girl, Rhonda, just stay alone. We get to Jalen and Josh. They start throwing water balloons at Meg and Derek because now they're aware that Meg and Derek are behind the pranks. But Meg suddenly got an attitude talking about, I didn't like that they threw the water balloons at us. First of all, how about I didn't like you changing the toilet tissue to indestructible material? How about that? How about I didn't like you setting up a meow device in my room. How about that? Talking about, oh, now I'm annoyed. Even in this light-hearted moment, she's sitting back like like not even laughing, sitting back all twisted in the face. She runs back in the home and starts closing the door on Derek. I don't know if Derek even peeped that, but she was like, "Look, I don't want to get my hair wet." Eventually, she got over it because she was actually happy that she was able to rewash her hair and look even fresher, um, or fresher for the night for dinner. We get to Brit, and this last scene was so annoying. Brit starts crying uncontrollably. She starts crying, like tries to hide it up with her long nails, like a baby type of cry. You know that like 8-year-old type of cry where it's like just in your whole face, it's in your nose, it's in your throat. You can't speak. And let me tell you something I didn't like about this moment here, because everyone else is talking. They're trying to like defend her, saying how, like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's like, girl, Jalen, Meg, please shut the fuck up. Everyone's trying to give some advice. Everyone's trying to hear y'all shit. Jalen, go to Burning Man with your man and shut the fuck up. Anyway, somebody sneezed at y'all peep this? Somebody sneezed at the table. And Brit, in the midst of her breaking down and trying to hold back her tears, she's like, bless you to whoever that person was. You needed to stop your tears to say bless you in that moment. That was so necessary for you. I hate a bless you type of person. I hate it. And the reason why I hate, sorry, this is a pet peeve of mine. People be sneezing left and right. Left and right. That means you gotta say bless you every time. You don't have to say bless you to me. Stop. God bless you. No, not even bless you. She said, God bless you. God bless you. Girl, are you a pasta? So yeah, she can't stop crying at the table. Yeah, and it stems because Will says, yeah, the connection could be better. Because everyone starts talking about their spouse, and they're starting with the positive, right? No one's even starting with the negative or anything like that. But immediately, again, Will not reading the room, or maybe he is, he doesn't give a damn, and he kind of gets off on this. But he says he starts off by saying connection could be better. And again, that sets Brittany in a tizzy. She starts crying throughout the table and had a moment to say God bless you to whoever was sneezing. And I just wrote down, Britt desperately needs a reassurance, and that's exhausting. And that's it, y'all. An hour and 2 minutes. So I hope you are here with me. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if y'all made it to the end. How we feeling? How we feeling about this whole season so far? We about to wrap up soon. I think we have maybe 2 more episodes, including Decision Day, and I think the reunion episode is already scheduled following. So I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what y'all think about this season. Make sure you are subscribed, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.